This is Lupe Fiasco. I'm here, and I finally, thank God, met up with Lupe Fiasco. Man, what are you doing out here?
Observing, watching, showing support. You know what I'm saying? Put my body on the front line, I guess. You know, for something that I think is very important. You know.
Now, when you came out with Words I Never Said, and you mentioned Building 7, I got to tell you, man, you inspired a lot of people to look up 9/11 and to investigate it. What made you? What piece of information made you look into 9/11?
It was really, you know, one of the things that always stood out for me was Building 7, because it never really got any attention. And it was really just like a question, like I said in the song. It's like, yo, did they really pull it? Because you watch like certain documentaries, and you watch counter documentaries, and you watch explanations and counter explanations and stuff like that. And it was just one of those outstanding things that always was like a, you know, like an elephant in the room for me. And it was really like something that I thought other people thought the same thing too. You know, like even if you agree with, you know, these were terrorist attacks, completely had nothing to do with any black flag operation, anything crazy like that. The phenomenon of Building 7 was something that was just like, it just kind of stood out on the periphery, like, yo, that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? For that to just happen like that. It's something that I just think, you know, it was never really a real proper investigation. And any time that you can bring up a question to at least get people, you know, people of positions of power and people of positions of influence to start really taking a proper look at that situation, especially because of the repercussions that 9/11 had around the world. You know, like millions of people have died behind that. You know, for the sake of what? You know, for the price of what? You know, what really happened to cause millions and millions of people to die? If it was just a terrorist attack, then so be it. Let that be known. You know, let that be out and vetted so the public can see it. And I think you'll get more support. You know, I think you'll get more support from Muslim countries. I think you'll get more support if it was just an open and honest kind of thing, and less of this kind of cloudy, you know, kind of mysterious, behind the scenes kind of operation and stuff that goes on. And to see the people that come out and counter argument, you know, to kind of the status quo, they're not like kooks or crazy conspiracy theories and nothing like that. You got people who are fighter fighters, people who are demolition experts, people who are engineers, people who are politicians, people from all walks of life, you know. And it's like, well, where does normal begin? Because if they are the epitome of normal, and just on this one instance they're the kooks and the crazies, then when do they become normal again? You know, what situation will come about where everybody can agree on? You know, so I think it's just something to bring up, to trying to get the people that run this place, that run this country, to kind of be honest and open about an investigation about 9/11 and what really happened, you know?
I mean, that's what the mainstream media does. The questions aren't answered even by the victim, you know, for the victim's family members. And then anybody who asks questions, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat. Meanwhile, as you said, family members, rescue workers, survivors, all the people who lived through here, and so much testimony of the bombs and explosions going off. And, you know, we try to do that when we go up to Silverstein and ask him questions. But when he doesn't answer the question, he looks like they have something to hide. They indicate themselves, and it's kind of like they're inviting a conspiracy to make everybody question what happened.
Well, there has to be a certain level of, like, I'm a proponent of critical thinking, you know what I'm saying? So I think that everybody should be critical. I think you should be critical of the people who question it. I think you should be critical of the family members. I think you should be critical of the people that say they heard bombs. I think that's the part, is that you need to investigate it. You know, it needs to be investigated thoroughly. There needs to be interviews. There needs to be a commission. There needs to be a whole kind of thing focused on getting to the truth. Not to push one agenda over the other, or not to even if it was something that was a justifiable kind of situation, then so be it. You know, if it was a situation where, yes, these people really flew these planes into these buildings, this really blew up like this is how this collapsed, and that's how it did, and this is why we went to war with this country and this country and this country. If it's proven, then so be it.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like I'm trying to, you know, like everything that the government does is bad, or everything that, and at the same time too, everything that the left does is good. You know, it's not that type of situation. For me, it's about critical thinking, you know, and being critical about everything that's going on around you, even even the people that come up, even the family members, even the supporters, even the firefighters that was building, everybody, you know, that was something that I think was never fully vetted and presented to the public, and decisions was just made, you know. So it's an interesting thing. I'm not on any side of the fence on that one. My thing is, let's just get to the truth, and the truth isn't just held by one side of the argument at the same time too.
You got to look at both sides, and it's not left and right. It's about truth, and don't believe me, don't believe anybody. Just go out there, look, believe your own eyes. And I wanted to bring up the New World Order. What are your thoughts about the New World Order and elites coming together in secret to consolidate power, just like the Bilderberg Group? Do you have an opinion on them?
I don't even think they come together in secret. You know, I think the New World Order is something that's deliberate, and it's in the public. I do think that there's certain parts of it that are in secret, simply because it's a private kind of situation. It's private individuals who hold private stake in certain parts of the world, and private stake in real estate, or private stake in their companies. So you'd expect things like that to be secret. You know, you don't invite everybody to dinner at your house. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think it's nefarious as people make it out to be. I think it's a lot of the stuff that we silently allow to happen. You know, I think that we're complicit. Even this thing here, Occupying Wall Street, and everything that's going down today, the one question that came up for me was, well, all the people that we're trying to get to come out and to raise awareness are complicit in it, because their pensions, right, are connected to the stock market. You know, their 401ks are connected to the stock market. Their retirement plans are connected to the stock market. You know, these are people, when you go in and you see those commercials for like Morgan Stanley and stuff like that, and you want to get a portfolio and you want to set up something for your kids or something like that, or you want to invest in something, you're investing into the stock market. You know, when you get your portfolio back, you got a little share of McDonald's, a little share of Apple, a little share of this, a little share of that. And that's the majority of people. You know, that's not like some lunatic fringe, or that's not like some leftist or rightist conspiracy or nothing like that. Those are regular, normal people who go to work 9 to 5, come home, watch TV, watch Dancing with the Stars, lay down, go back to work the next day. You know, so there's a certain level of like, a lot of the stuff that we silently admit to, and then just what the system is. You know, we're a system based on capitalism, we're a system based on consumerism. Even socialist societies are based on consumerism, right? And the issue is consumerism. It's not capitalism. You're always going to have capitalism. You're always going to have capitalism. Somebody's always going to make more than somebody else. That's just the way it is, right? Somebody's always going to own the land, and farmers are going to rent it, and they're going to go, that's just how it's going to go down. You're never going to change that system. But what you can attack, and what needs to be questioned, is consumerism, materialism, right? Our addictions to certain things, right? As a people, as you, me, everybody here, the people that are not here, the people that are in the offices looking down, the people in their houses, the people who are anti-protesting up the street, everybody at the end of the day is addicted to materialism.
And that solution comes within us, because as soon as we start taking the money out of the big banks, as soon as we stop supporting the corporations that are doing wrong, they're nothing without our consent, and we're allowing this to happen.
Well, at a certain level, bro, you got to look at the products they produce. Some of the products that are actually produced are stuff that we need, you know, and some of the stuff is stuff that we want, and we blur our own lines between what we need and what we want. You know, you ask somebody to say, hey man, I work, it could be somebody who lives in Harlem who works down here, and you could say, hey, you know, you could just take a bike, and it's like, yo, my man, I can't take a bike every day. I need a car. But when you get in that car, you got to fuel that car. So you're financing ExxonMobil, you're financing Ford, you're financing whatever car company it is, right? You're financing all these different things, right? You're paying the city, because you got to pay for your registration, you got to pay taxes. So you're financing the system just so you can say, hey, I don't want to ride to work every single day because I'm gonna be tired at the end of the day. So how do you address that situation? You know, when do you demonize that person because he don't want to ride a bike? But it's like, are you gonna take care of his situation? Are you really taking into consideration that my man lives in Harlem and he don't want to take a bike or walk all the way down to Wall Street because he's gonna be late for work, he's probably gonna lose his job, and he's gonna be tired as fuck?
Yeah, that's true. I always say positivity is key, and we got to change ourselves first before we change the world. And you've been spreading that message. What made you want to spread this message? Because everybody else in hip-hop is spreading that you need more rims and more jewelry. You're doing the total opposite, saying real wealth is within you. And what made you like understand that life is more than just jewelry and all the other nonsense that the mainstream media and consumerism pushes on us?
Well, as I sit here with a Rolex on, you know what I'm saying? There's a certain level of like the things that I allow, and the things that I'm complicit in myself, and the things that I fight against. you know, and the things that I don't do. So I'm not up here like, yo, I'm completely 100 non-materialistic and I'm a Buddhist monk walking around, because that's definitely not the case. There's certain things that, certain initiatives and certain things that I see that I can lend myself to, or lend my ear to, or lend my body to, and come out here on the front lines and support, then yes. There's certain things that I out here that go completely against me. Like, are there people, if they came up to me and say, hey, why you got that Rolex on, I'm an elitist pig from, you know, what have you, you know? So there's a certain level of like hypocrisy, you know what I'm saying? A certain level of like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. These two opposing kind of forces coming together to make people who they are, right? The duality of mankind, right? So I accept that. I embrace that, right? The core for me is, I don't want to be in the streets fighting a civil war, running down the street with an AK-47 shooting at the National Guard.
Exactly. Negativity is not the answer, and we can't be fighting our brothers and sisters.
So for me, it's like, let me support something peaceful like this.
Yeah.
Right? If you're gonna buy a Rolex, buy a Rolex. If you're gonna buy a Ferrari, buy a Ferrari. That's if you can afford it, then so be it. At the end of the day, you know. My situation is, I don't want. There's such a mass of people that are completely impoverished. There's a mass of people that are completely frustrated. There's a mass of people that are completely disillusioned. A mass of people that are completely uneducated about how that system works, about themselves. And it's going to reach a point, right? It's going to reach a breaking point. And when that breaking point happens, I don't want to be living in a bunker for 15 years, eating dried food and, you know, and shooting at people to keep them away from my house and shit like that. I don't want that. So while the opportunity is now, and we have things such as this, and we have things such as the internet, and we can propagate the information, and I have my celebrity as a musician, I want to push that. You know, I want to push people to be educated and go out there and read this book and check this book out. Pedagogy of the Press, go get that, read that. You know, like, understand exactly what's going on before we act. You know, and before this shit blows up, you know, because it's gonna blow up, and nobody's denying everything. That's why they have. That's why every time you turn on the Sports Center, there's a fucking commercial for the Navy. You know, there's a commercial for the National Guard. You know, why you think that medal, like Call of Duty, is the biggest game ever? Every time it comes around, you got millions and millions of people.
October Washington D.C. Tar Heel Square comes to Freedom Plaza.
It's not something where the powers that we are naive to. So we should be naive to. They're prepared way 10 times more than we are. So for me, it's like, you know, as much as we have the opportunity right now to seize the day and kind of seize the minds before it turns into some violent, bloody fucking stupid revolution or something like that, you know, let's do that. And that's not a threat. And people know it. That's why you go to Texas and guns, everybody got a fucking gun. And everybody say, I got this gun because I don't get it. I'm talking about the little old lady down the street to the fucking hit in the woods with 25 AK-47s and a whole militia behind it. Because everybody's expecting something dangerous to happen, something nasty to happen. I don't want my kids to live in that. You know?
And that's been our major message, is to prevent that negativity, that hatred from spreading, and letting people know we're all in this together. We might as well not fight each other. Because saying F the cops or fighting the military, it's only hurting us. Meanwhile, the elites are sitting on top of us, and they're dividing us, conquering us. And I think so much from the bottom line, that message is more important than anything. I think that's more important than revolution for me than evolution. We're saving ourselves.
Yeah, because when I first started, it was like,
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
I really think the war on terror is a bunch of bullshit. Just a poor excuse for you to use up all your bullets. How much money does it take to really make a full clip? 9/11 Building 7, did they really pull it? And a bunch of other cover-ups.
Lupe Fiasco. Yeah, this is all of them.
I just turned it off.
Yeah, this says Truth Rising is a good one. It's about the family members and rescue workers and survivors. Check it out, man.